Well, there's a couple of big questions I'd like to get each of you to answer. Let's start off with immigration. Given what we're facing, Kosha, is it the right time to be opening up to large numbers of immigration again, more than 800,000 people over the next 2 years?
You know, that is the question of our time, Chris, I think, obviously for economic reasons that we're discussing, as well as a whole host of other ones. And I think the reason for that is there's sort of there's been this movement or this obsession almost around the metric of GDP. And of course, that is the way that recession is measured. But that's actually not really the true measure of quality of life and standard of living. And where immigration comes into play is, you know, if you just pump the population with more and more people, plus government spending, as we were just discussing, that will make GDP look better on paper, and that's kind of the reason why they're doing it. But all it's doing is it's stressing the infrastructure, it's stressing quality of life, it's making the cost of living higher and higher. And so I would have to say that what the people say, and that reflects, you know, my own opinion, is it probably is time to step back and really question the quantum of immigration and just all of the consequences that come from that economically and beyond.
Yeah, what do you reckon, Alexi? Because there's already a housing crisis. Does increased immigration just exacerbate that?
Well, certainly one of the big problems that small businesses have been facing since COVID has been worker shortages. And you only have to look at, you know, your local small business owner. They're spending more hours in their business working in it, and they are really desperate for workers and that injection of relief that can bring them, and also the ability to grow. So there's definitely a balance to be found here. Housing is a massive problem, particularly in regional areas. We've got small businesses who are literally renting out rooms in their houses to their workers because there's nowhere for them to live. You can't grow if you can't increase your staffing capacity, or you can't look at different ways to innovate, and that requires people. And there's a balancing act there.
Dimitri?
Well, to start with, I think there's a disconnect between the costs and benefit of immigration. The Commonwealth gets the benefit, the states get the costs. The Commonwealth picks up the income taxes from the additional workers. The states have to supply the schools, the hospitals, the roads, the infrastructure. The other thing is, as Alexi pointed out, business is clamouring for labour, and so without immigration, there would be more upward pressure on inflation because of on wages. So it's a trade-off. I don't know what the right number is. I don't know what the right balance is. Clearly, the Commonwealth is of the view that more immigration, you know, tempers both inflation and provides them more money to spend. But, you know, we didn't get into this mess overnight, and we're not going to get out of this mess overnight.